ladies and gentlemen, representatives of governments from different African countries, professionals and colleagues from the built environment industry, esteemed guests, it is a great pleasure and an honor for me to welcome you all to the second edition of TotallyConcrete Expo and the inaugural African Construction Expo in Sandton, South Africa.
TotallyConcrete Expo in its second annual edition was better than ever this year. We had participation from 43 countries, including 137 speakers who were there to help shape the future of cement and concrete in Africa.
Africa is now, a really desirable continent. So those countries that market themselves as a place to start campaigning in Africa, in other words, being the gateway into the continent, are going to be the ones that win.
Global and domestic factors, therefore, are now shifting Africa from being judged in the past for its vulnerabilities, as The Economist magazine did, towards being judged for its possibilities. And I must say, I'm very happy to work in any environment in which what's possible is much more exciting than what's vulnerable and what's negative. Now is the time, I think, to look at the African market. Don't wait for later. This is the unique window.
This year at TotallyConcrete and African Construction Expos, with participation from 43 countries worldwide, we had pretty much every stakeholder along the construction value chain, cement and concrete value chain as well, in attendance. So the networking opportunities were unprecedented on the exhibition floor. Everything from your concrete technologist to your consulting engineer was there on site to learn how they can cooperate to make, respectfully, both of their jobs easier.
African Construction Expo is a knowledge, networking and business development platform for the African construction industry. The conference this year addressed strategic business issues around the construction of physical infrastructure. The exhibition showcased the latest tools and technologies the industry has to offer.
In 2007, we reached a global tipping point of over 50% of the world's population living in designed or urban environments, and that's increasing steadily on a daily basis with urban migration. We are well equipped to deal with challenges around urbanization, but particularly around things like resource scarcity. We are used to working with very limited budgets. We are used to working with limited material selections and technology, so we're very innovative in terms of the types of solutions that we come up with.
There are certain countries that's made significant strides. If we look at the top three countries in Africa where it's the easiest to do business, Mauritius tops the list, followed by Rwanda, I think, which would be a surprise for a lot of people, and then South Africa. Rwanda has moved up about 30 places over the last 3 or 4 years in terms of ease of doing business, improving tax regulation, opening up their markets and just saying to investors, come do business here. So there is a lot that's happening. There is still certain challenges that people need to deal with, but overall there's a lot of improvements happening in Africa. It, however, does tend to be in pockets. It's still certain countries that's taking the lead, and we would like to see it, being wider on the entire continent.
So as PPC, we felt that it was important to participate, and with the theme, of the summit, this year about growth in the region, and PPC at the moment, we are on a very strong drive to grow outside of South Africa. So I felt that it's important to also participate and try to share our PPC growth story.
I think it was a good opportunity for interaction, for sharing of knowledge and experience. It was a good opportunity to see what innovation is taking place across the spectrum of all the players in the industry. And it would also be very nice if we could take some of these lessons beyond South Africa into the region to help further also the regional integration agenda.
We've met a lot of new prospects, particularly from elsewhere in Africa. The show has attracted, I think, a wide range of visitors from South Africa, but well beyond. So those are all people we would not have been able to get our message to as effectively.
The solutions come out of the problems that you discuss on the forum, and therefore people can relate to the solutions and problems. But three, and most important, there's immediate buy-in, so that when you start implementing the project or the program, those who are already part and parcel of this platform already are with you, and it's not difficult to convince them to start all over again.
I'm not saying that it's easy to do business in Africa. It's probably the most difficult continent anywhere in the world. But ultimately, given the population growth figures, the demand of these new middle classes for goods and services and logistics and a better standard of living, which they will demand from their governments over the next few decades, missing out on this African growth story, I think, would be a major downside to any business, whether they are a relatively large business in South Africa or whether they are an emerging business as well.
For next year, TotallyConcrete Expo will take place again in Sandton in Johannesburg from the 12th to the 14th of May. It will be Africa's first three-story expo next year, co-located once again with the African Construction Expo, but also with Coatings for Africa, which is a new venture that we are hosting alongside the South African Paint Manufacturers Association.